Hello, Donkey Pilot here, and today we're gonna talk about how you get any job you want. And any job, I really mean any job. There's only one requirement, that is you really must want it. And you must be willing to pay the price for it. Then you can get any job you want. And I will explain you how. Let's go. The question you need to ask yourself is what, not how. People always ask how. How do I get? How do I get this? How do I get that? But that's the wrong question. The question you need to ask yourself is what? What do you want? For example, people ask like, how can I become a millionaire? How can I become successful? How can I become a pilot? How can I become this and that? And what they do is they're looking for options before they decide if that's actually what they want. And if you don't want something hard enough, you will not find the option to get there. When you focus on your goal, and then the path how to get there will be determined later on, it will almost happen by itself, because then you all of a sudden you're willing to go ways and explore ways you haven't seen before. So instead of asking how can I do this or how can I do that, the question you should ask yourself is what do I want? So for example, I want to become a lawyer, okay? I want to become a helicopter pilot, for example, in my personal experience. So you're setting that goal there. So all of a sudden, when you set that goal here, you need to find a way to get from here to here. Okay, so you're looking for options. You kind of have to, because that's what you have to do. And it's called leverage. You have to set a goal somewhere that you have to achieve, no matter what it costs. You have to find a way to make it happen, even you cannot see the way right now. Okay, so for example, you can print pictures, put it on the wall, like how you fly a helicopter, how you sit in a law firm in New York City. Put that picture everywhere. Put it on the toilet. Put that picture in your head, how you see yourself doing that over and over and over before you go to sleep. Set that in your head, like that mental picture where you see you're fulfilling doing this job. And after a while, what happened will be that you cannot do differently other than achieving that goal. And every day you do not achieve that goal. It could be even a short-term goal, like a day-to-day or week-to-week or month-to-month goal. But on the long run, every time you do not achieve your steps between, or you think about not achieving it, it must give you pain. It must give you fear. It must give you discomfort. So then what happens is, if you can't, you must. And that is what gives you the position, the job, your own company, whatever it is, whatever you desire, actually. And the only difference between a successful person who reached his goal and a non-successful person who didn't, the only difference, that's the only little difference, is that the successful person didn't give up at the same position at which the non-successful did. All right? We all come to a point where we want to give up. We all come to a point where we have an obstacle. And that hits the successful person just as a non-successful person. And it hurts the same way. It's like people think, oh, this guy is lucky. He never had the obstacles I had. Well, that's BS. Because in the end, we all get that obstacle. But the only difference is, for a successful person, you continue. You're finding a solution. Because if you can't, you must. And if you have that in your head and you get that, you will be able to achieve any goal you set. And I know that because I have done it myself. I have achieved many goals in my life, and I have failed on many goals in my life, because on the goals I have achieved, I had this mindset. And on goals I have not achieved, well, I hadn't. So that's the key to everything, and it all comes down to one basic thing. It comes down to setting your job or your goal higher than what you currently have. All right? In nature, or everything has to grow. If it doesn't grow, it dies. A tree always grows. A plant always grows. A human always grows. Maybe not always literally as a body, because even a tree reaches its maximum size where gravity comes over, and it, from a side perspective, it doesn't grow anymore. But even the leaves continue to grow. Everything continues to grow. So what I'm saying is, when you set your goal, it needs to be higher than you. If you set a goal that's the same level as you, you know what will happen? You will be satisfied. And when you're satisfied, that's the enemy of everything. You will not be even living anymore. Why? Because you're not growing anymore. You're already at the level you want to be. And not only will you stay on that level when you tell yourself you're satisfied, you will actually decrease. You will unlearn something. You will forget. And that's not good. That way you're not getting anywhere. So most people have the goal of being satisfied. But actually, it's being slowly existing, like living a day-to-day life, not changing anything. That's being satisfied. But for me, and somebody who experienced it, that's not living. You know, you have much more potential than just being satisfied. So what you have to do is set a goal higher than you are. Then you have to increase your potential to your goal. Don't select your goal or your qualifications or your degrees and then find a position to it. That's what most people do. They say, okay, hey, I got a master's degree, or I got a bachelor degree in this and this. Now I can only achieve this job. So I have this. I need to find a job that matches to it. That's not getting you anywhere. Okay, so it's like almost a hamster wheel of income, expenses. The same with learning. So what you have to do is find a high goal, and that's anything you can dream of, anything you want to do from childhood, anything that makes you happy, anything that you can imagine yourself being in for the next 5 years, 10 years, anywhere you can be yourself. Like right now, I'm here in Abu Dhabi, looking out of the window, sitting in my little apartment, and being happy. And I have achieved that because I did that. I set that as my goal, and I put it there. And we can talk for that about hours and hours, and there's so much more to it than just a few things I just mentioned now. Like most successful people, or I would say all of us successful people, whatever you desire or whatever you wish, however you wish to define success in your own terms, but the way these people are successful in their own terms, all of them have done one thing, and that is do it. They have done it. That's why Nike, that's their slogan. Just do it. People want to try, but what happens when you try is you're already putting that in your head that you're trying, and if you give up, then what does it matter? Because you just tried. Tried is already implementing. You're already assuming that you might fail, and then it's okay because you just tried. You didn't do it, right? So just get rid of that word, try. You can either do it or you cannot do it, right? You can either stand up or you cannot stand up. But even when you try, you can either do it or not do it. The word trying doesn't actually exist. It's just something we put in our head to already lower our expectations. And it doesn't get you anywhere. So don't try it. Either do it or don't do it. If you think that's what you need to do, then do it. If you think, I shouldn't do it, I should wait, I should do this and this, my plan of action is this and this, then don't do it. But don't even start trying, because you already will fail. In the moment that you will hit a bump, you will fail, because you're just trying, you're not doing it. And the most successful people, all of them, they did it, and they choose a goal that's like, up there somewhere. It's so high that they cannot, maybe not even reach it. It might be an unrealistic goal. And even if it's unrealistic, like becoming, 10 times richer than the most rich person, or becoming 10 times happier than the most happiest person on this planet, or whatever it is. still, by setting you this goal and by putting leverage on you, by that you cannot do other than achieving this goal, you will start growing. You will start finding ways and finding ways improving yourself that gets you there, or even in that direction. So instead of progressing in an angle like this, they will progress an angle like this. Maybe they will not reach their goal here, maybe they will reach only here. But even this is already so much higher than somebody who will set this as a goal. They might just reach here and not quite here. So somebody who sets an unbelievable high goal will grow and progress much faster and much higher than somebody who will set a realistic goal. So I'm not saying you should set an unrealistic goal, because we are human in the end, and we want pleasure out of the things we achieved, right? We want to look back and say, hey, look, that's what I have achieved. Look, I'm a cool guy, I'm a helicopter pilot. Look, I'm this and this. I mean, a helicopter pilot walks in the bar. How does everybody know he's a helicopter pilot? I mean, he's dressed regular, right? So he tells everybody right in the moment he walks into that bar. And it's a joke, but at the same time it's the truth. And I can tell you that kind of applies to any profession, to anything that somebody achieved. Not necessarily telling them, but in the end of the day, we are proud of it, right? We are happy about what we did. So I think it has two sides in choosing a goal and a realistic job or unrealistic job. It has a benefit of choosing a realistic one. And also by cutting it into steps, so you can look back, and whenever you get to the point of failure, you can look back and say, hey, there was a similar point in my past, remember this and this goal, and I overcome that. I overcame it and I passed it. So this time of a failure, or this time of an obstacle in my way, I will surpass it as well. So that only happens when you make those increments of goals, steps. For example, for a pilot, not looking at all the licenses, which is your final goal, right? But like getting those little licenses out of your way as you progress. And I think that's also important to have those steps. But if you really want to be successful and you want the big, the big money, the big happiness, the big whatever it is, health, you have to set it as high as you even can imagine. And then you will get as high as you never could imagine. And to wrap this up, I want to say, I don't know who said it, but it's one of my favorite quotes. And everybody wants to be somebody, but nobody wants to become someone. So think about that, and danke Palot. Bye-bye. If you feel like this video was any help to you, give it a thumbs. And if you don't want to miss any more videos like this in the future, activate the bell, subscribe, and thank you very much. For the next video, you can click right there, and I'll see you next time.